DBT, the practice. No, not DBT. Mindfulness. The mindfulness part of DBT. Go over what the whole DBT scene is with all the modules and stuff in January 22nd, videos 1 through 3. And it also covers the whole in-depth disclaimer and why people need professional stuff if they can afford it and all that stuff. So I'm not going to go over it. I have copyright release to read this material. I'm not a DBT counselor, mindfulness counselor of any kind. I'm a patient, former patient, long-term consumer of mental health products. Welcome. Today is still January 25th. It's Friday morning. It's like almost 8 o'clock now. This is my third video doing mindfulness, the practice of doing mindfulness, because mindfulness takes a lot of practice. So the practice. The practice of mindfulness is about getting in touch with your own experience moment to moment in a diffused and accepting way. In earlier techniques we've discussed, you were asked to be mindful of specific areas. Oh, and let me just say that this excerpt is from Hayes and Smith, 2005, page 107. I have copyright release to do the compiled materials. I'm sure they have copyright release to do the book materials, but if Mr. or Hayes Publishing wants to squelch this, I'm sure they probably can. Hopefully they won't. I'm not doing this for any money. I don't think I have an audience, but I know that at one point I had background music on, and that got a copyright flag, and the copyright owner of the music that I was listening to came on and I guess monetized the video. I don't know. I got all excited and wound up. I was like, oh my god, an idol. Not a religious idol, but a music idol. Alright. So worried about my language these days. Okay, so earlier in the book, in earlier techniques, you were asked to be mindful, but not in my videos. You were asked to be mindful of specific areas of your experience, like your thoughts in time, bodily sensations, defusing from implicit evaluations. In this chapter, there will be other things you are asked to notice, but your responses needn't be guided by anything but by the experiences that appear. At times, many things may come up for you at once. This is why individual counseling is important. There are different ways you can handle this. Sometimes you might alternate back and forth between different sensations. Sometimes you might be able to hold a number of different things in your awareness at one time. Some of the exercises actually ask you to be mindful of more than one thing at a time. Part of the elusiveness of mindfulness is that it is purposive. It has a purpose, and thus evokes evaluations. But the whole purpose of being mindful is to learn how to defuse from your evaluations, so to back away from our judgments and get more with the reality as it is, I think. The best way to think about it is that there is neither a right nor a wrong way to be mindful. Simply be who you directly experience yourself to be, a conscious, observing self in the moment. If evaluations show up, then observe the evaluations, but do not believe or disbelieve them. If you take your verbal judgments about your progress literally, that will be yet another instance of fusion with the verbal story your mind generates. So we're trying to back away from our story and maybe rewrite the narrative to a more positive narrative internally. Can't do that legally, obviously, but internally we can things to some degree. Truth. My experience. Alright. Buying into thoughts that judge you as good or not good at being mindful is just the word machine taking control once again. And it does definitely help to be in control of the word machine. I mean, learn words. Look them up in a dictionary. Grab a dictionary and learn to enjoy looking at words and be fascinated by words in a dictionary. And if you know, it takes practice. I don't know that I pronounce things, but I've definitely had those awkward experiences where you learn your language or your information by reading to yourself, and you maybe don't know how to say the word. Then you run into an educated person that's actually had an official teacher teach them, and then you say a word wrong, and they're like down their nose at you, and you just feel like, which not a professional, am I? Nope. So definitely it's easier to take control of the word machine, not just through the emotions, but through educating the mind and the language and the vocabulary that we have. And don't get discouraged when you find out how many words there are and how many different ways the words get used and how the different professions use the language in a different way. Yep, don't get discouraged. Just be curious and carry on. It's a big world. Big world. Alright, back to whatever we're doing here. What are we doing? Yeah, so there we go. Defuse from your valuations. The best way to think about it is that neither right or wrong. So the word machine. As you practice, allow yourself to become more mindful of the sensations, thoughts, and feelings that are happening for you. Be gentle and non-judgmental, even with your judgments. This isn't a test, it's just living. Not a test. Now let's dive into the exercises themselves. Exercise 1. Be where you are. After you've read through the following script a few times, close your eyes and follow the instructions given. If you're comfortable with this, have someone close to you read the script aloud while you do the exercise. You can also record these instructions on an audio cassette tape or CD or whatever the new things are, and play it back to yourself while you practice. Remember not to panic if you become distracted while doing this exercise. Just bring yourself back to the present moment and continue to follow the script. Note that you can abandon the script once you have the basic principles of the exercise memorized. So begin by finding a comfortable position. You can be seated in a chair or lying down on the floor or your bed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Relax. Don't let yourself drift off to sleep, but allow your body to rest. This is not relaxing, and yet it is. This is an intentional relaxation. Now slowly bring your awareness to the tips of your fingers. Feel your fingers. Rub your fingertips together. How do they feel? Do you feel the small indentations on your fingertips that are your fingerprints? Take time and try to feel them. What are they like? Are your fingertips rough from lots of work, or are they smooth and silky? How does it feel to rub them together? Notice the feelings and then move on. So I'm noticing that the last time I did read this one again, this is still a round 2 thing, my fingers were really, really rough because I don't know what I'd been doing, but now they're pretty smooth. So that's interesting. This time they're silent. Last time they were going dry skin. Now rest your fingers where they were before. What are they touching? Are they resting on the blanket on your bed? Or are they resting on the arm of your chair? What does that feel like? Is it soft or hard? Does it have any other distinguishing features? Is the blanket furry with cotton? Does the armrest have any markings, or is it smooth? take the time to completely absorb the way these objects feel to your fingertips. Now, bring your attention to your hands and arms. What do they feel like? Perhaps they are relaxed and heavy. Perhaps they're still tense from a long day's work. Either way is okay. There is no need to judge. Simply observe the feelings in your arms and hands. Are there any aches or pains? Take note of these, but do not focus on them. Simply note the pain and move on. Move your attention down to your toes. Wiggle them around a little. Are they in shoes or socks? Are they free to move about? Squish your toes back and forth, feeling whatever is beneath them. How does that feel? Can you tell what it is just by the feeling? Would you be able to tell only by touch? Just notice the sensations as you bring your awareness to your feet. How is your head positioned? If you're sitting, is your head aligned with your spine, or is it drooping, resting on your chest? Without trying to change the position of your head, simply note where it is positioned. There is no right way for your head to be. Just let it be where it is. Now think about the sensations in your head. Do you have a headache? Is your head relaxed? What about your face? How does your face feel? There are all kinds of sensations to explore in your face. Think about your brow. Is it smooth and flat, or is it crinkled up with stress? Again, don't try to change it, just notice it. Now, bring your awareness to your nose. Can you breathe freely, or are you plugged up? In between. Take a few breaths in and out through your nose. How does that feel? Can you feel cool air flowing into your lungs, or is the air warm? Pay attention to the feeling for a moment. Then think about your mouth. How is your mouth positioned? Is it pursed? Or is it open? Is it closed? What about the inside of your mouth? Is it wet or dry? Can you feel your saliva coat the inside of your mouth and throat? Although without saliva, it's really a drag. There's actually fake saliva that people that are like going through cancer or stuff can buy. Squirt it in. Okay, onward. Explore all of the sensations throughout your face. Perhaps you can feel oil on your skin. Perhaps your skin is dry. Perhaps there's no feeling at all. Just note it and move on. Now, bring your attention to your chest and belly. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Can you feel yourself breathing? What is that like? Are you breathing fast or slow? Are your breaths going into your abdomen or into your chest? Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. How does that feel? Now invert the pattern, so breathe in through your mouth and out through your nose. Spend time with your breath, then place your hands wherever they were before. Now think of your whole body. Where are you sitting or lying? Can you feel the back side of your body touch the chair or bed in various places? Be mindful of your body, of the way your body is positioned. There is no need to move, just observe. Now, think about the room you're in. Where are you positioned in the room? Do you have a sense of where the door is? What about the ceiling? Can you feel your body in the context of this larger space? When you're ready, open your eyes and take a look around the room. You can move if you wish. Notice where the various pieces of furniture are. What do they look like? You can spend as much time as you like investigating the different aspects of the furniture. Remember not to judge, just to notice. Whenever you're ready, you can stop this exercise and carry on with your day. So that is exercise 1. I mean, it doesn't have a name, it just, a number, it just has a label, but I'm calling it 1. And then it says, when you have completed the Be Where You Are exercise for the first time, take a few minutes to comment on it below. If you wish, you can continue this practice of writing your responses in a journal after each session, but it is not necessary. I think I've talked about a journal before. It's good to have a journal. Obviously, whenever you have a journal, you're taking the chance of having whoever read it, wherever, whenever. So, just be aware of that. But I find it helpful to keep journals, and I don't like being bullied by people reading them and then threatening me with my own information. They've been doing that for a long time, since I was a kid. And I still just, I mean, I think part of being mindful is, part of the reason that you want to do it is so that you can, I'm going to have my smile, so that you can keep on being yourself and not get pushed into weird corners. It's important to be ourselves, but also be able to not cause harm to other people. So it's really a balancing act. So I keep journals, but I have been harassed with my own words for sure. Probably it could even become legal. I'm sure that this is legal, but I really believe in it. So I'm gonna keep on doing it for as long as I can. And then if something happens, if I still can do things, I'll find something else to do. Next, we're going to do exercise 2 and probably 3. Silent walking and cubby holing. I don't know what the heck cubby holing is. We didn't do all these in class. A lot of it we're supposed to do on ourselves, which I'm not that great at doing, obviously. Now I'm doing it. Woohoo! Thank you, non-audience. Thank you, stresses that pushed me into doing this. You stress, you stress.